This is jace-burner of Team Rainbow Signer doing another Abused and Forgotten.
Hey, jace-burner here, doing another Abused and Forgotten, and this time, what a surprise, I'm actually doing something that's not a monster. And not only that, it's not a dark attribute. Thank goodness. I realized that all the cards I reviewed were dark attribute, so that's why they all had the same things in common. But this time I'm going to do a trap card, one of my favorite ones. This is more of a tech choice. You don't see it a lot these days because people use Solemn Judgment, Solemn Warning, and all those other things. This little guy is really handy when you're going against those pesky decks like Quick Draw Plants, which I call Southern Dandies, because they all use Quick Draw Synchron and Dandelion. With this guy, anytime your opponent summons a monster, normal summon, flip summon, special summon, with attack points of 1,000 or less, you remove that monster from play, and any copy your opponent has in their hand or deck are removed from play too. So it doesn't get rid of ones in the graveyard, but it gets rid of every other one they have. Your opponent special summons Quick Draw Synchron, guess what you do? You remove from play and every copy they have in their deck. There goes basically their entire strategy. Also, this card's also effective against the X-Sabers. Your opponent summons Dark Soul, remove from play. There goes all their strategies, because you'd also get rid of all 3 of their Dark Souls probably if you start off in the duel with this. Starting off with this in your hand is a really good way stopping your opponent, because basically you can choose which card you want to go against this entire duel. It's now pretty effective against 6 Samurais now, since they use Kageki and Kagemusha are both less than 1,000 and they usually run them in 3s. Playing this bad boy, remove them from play, there goes their entire strategy. You might want to wait for Kagemusha though, depending on what you think your opponent's going to try and do. If you remove from play their only tuner, because usually Kagemusha is the only tuner they use, get rid of that means your opponent can't summon their precious monster anymore, because they probably don't have anything to bring back a monster that's removed from play. But yeah, this guy's really effective. He does only target 1,000 or less though, so it's really limited in what you do. Chances are you're only going to be removing from play a monster that's only good for its effect. No one's going to summon a normal monster with less than 1,000, unless you go against Mokis. I mean, and you move all those from play, then you stop their deck. But very few people run Mokis. I do, but this guy's really similar to a Chain Destruction. If you remember that card from the actual show, if your opponent summons a monster with 2,000 attack points or less, you send every copy your opponent has in their hand or deck to the graveyard. So they keep their monster on the field, and you're sending it to the graveyard, which in these days you probably don't want to do that. That's why Chain Disappearance is a little better, because it removes them from play. It doesn't say destroy at all. It just says remove it from play and all the other copies your opponent has. So it's a really handy tech card. It doesn't get pretty much any type of it doesn't get any hype. This is a really good card. No one uses it. If it was a counter trap, you better believe there'll be a bunch of decks that use this thing, but it's really only effective. I like the artwork on it too. You rarely see a Man-Eater Bug getting pwned in something, but in this one you do. Hell, that'd be awesome. I just remember using a deck with nothing but destruction monsters, Man-Eater Bugs, Rykos, Old Vindictives. It'd be pretty awesome. And then this thing would just destroy that deck. Run 3 of these in a deck, and basically you stop your opponent from doing anything. 6 Samurais would get hit horribly by this thing. Oh no, they can still use Grandmasters and Xians and all their other dudes, but those guys are overhyped, and I'll get into that on a different video, hopefully. But Chain Disappearance, good card. I recommend putting it probably at least 1 in your main deck, maybe siding in 2, but if you actually use this card in your deck, you'll be surprised at how good it is. That's it. That's all I got to say about this card. Giving every card its day, and that's what I think I did. This is jace-burner signing out. Peace. Deuces.